In this video, we're going to go over how to customize your new website, and we'll go over the basics and then along with a few specific canvases to really let you know how they work and how to get in there and customize them. So we'll start on your home page. We'll go into page. So these are all of the canvases that make up your home page. Anytime you see these gray diagonal lines, that means it's a site canvas. So again, if we update that canvas, we will see those updates site-wide wherever we have that canvas. One of the first things we're going to start with is your menus. So we're going to start with our main menu right here. We can edit the canvas by clicking up here, down here, or on the right. So this is the desktop version, and if we click down here, we're going to see the mobile version as well. We'll start just with the desktop. So with the text, you can come in here, use the same font, and you can type your business name. Let's pull up mobile. So you'll notice if it stacks like that, all we have to do is take this blue bounding box, make it a little bit longer, and we'll go over to size and position, and we're going to center to canvas. Anytime you have an element selected, it will be blue within the canvas. So these are all of the elements in the main menu canvas, and it will also be blue, so you'll know exactly what you're customizing. Whenever you have something selected, on the right-hand side, these are going to be your customization options, or you could call them tools. So if we have this selected, we can go to text style. This is where we could change the color. And it's really cool with Show It is that you can have complete creative freedom on desktop and mobile. So for example, we could keep this orange on desktop and keep it kind of this cream color on mobile, or of course change it. From there, we could change the actual font itself. These will be your brand fonts that you added in the design settings. Here we can change size. We can make this much bigger. And then pull like this over. We can go into center it, and you can just keep customizing from there. Down here we have line height, letter spacing, letter case. So these are all the different things that you can get in here and play with. Alignment, text properties, this doesn't pertain to this scenario. Size and position, we touched on that a little bit. Here we have the width, X, height, and Y axis. This is super helpful if you're like needing to put something in the exact same place, maybe on another canvas. And then you can also rotate here as well. Center to canvas, we can center vertically and horizontally. Horizontal locking, this doesn't apply with the business name. However, if we look at home, we have the horizontal locking on, so that's pulling it further to the left side of the page. This one is really helpful with photos if you want them to be half of the width of your screen, and this will be full width for photos, and we'll go through that as well. Next, we have click actions. So with your business name, we're always going to want that to go to the home page. So we will go to page, and then from the drop down, we're going to select home. From here, this is where you could add transitions. Totally up to you. You would click it. And again, we'll go through this a little bit more as we keep going. Hover, if you want to add a hover effect, this is where it could change colors upon hovering. And then we have further effects down here. This is where you could change opacity and also add a drop shadow if you want. All right. Now, if you do already have a logo, you can also add that in. So let's go back. Perfect. So if you have a logo, you're going to add that to your media library. I'm going to come in here and add one of ours. Okay. Here we go. So I'll select our logo and then click Add to Site Canvas. So you're going to see right up here, it's these blue little dots. So I'm just going to select that, pull it down, resize on desktop. And in mobile, I'm keeping the Anna Jean text there so I can line up with that. So for example, here I can select the graphic in the canvas and hold down Shift and I can select both. Here I could then, you'll get this alignment feature. So I'm going to align to the top. I'm going to click over on desktop here. So both are still selected and I'm going to align to the right. And let's do top here. I'm going to center and make sure that is centered to canvas. When I go to click off, let's just do the desktop version. I want this to be a little bit bigger. Again, I'm going to go to size and position, center, and I'm going to hide on desktop. And then we're going to go to click actions and make sure it is linked to the home page. Now let's do mobile. So same process. I left Anna Jean so I could see sizing. Too big. I'm holding down Shift when I'm resizing the logo so I keep the same proportions. Okay. Awesome. And then you can further adjust from there depending on how you like it. So that is how you could add your logo, and then make sure you add in the link to the homepage. We're going to check all of our other buttons. So we want to make sure home is linked, click actions, link to home, about, goes to the about page, experience to experience, blog to blog, and contact to contact. When you come in here, you can edit the text. So if you have it selected, on the right-hand side is going to be your customization options. So here we could change, again, the color. We can change the actual font itself right down here. Size, all of this stuff you can change here. If we are on your homepage and you're like, oh, I don't need, let's say I'm going to wait for the blog. We could have that off. We could select these two and then just click center. If you want to have a different page, or maybe you want to call blog something else, maybe you want to call this journal, you can just select the actual text by double clicking and start typing and add journal. As far as its link, it should still be the same going to the blog page. We could grab these three and go to distribute, make sure they're evenly spaced, and then go to align to canvas to center. All right, now that we have the main menu done, we're going to jump down to our footer menu and we're going to do the same thing. So we'll start with the text. So we could add business name. You'll notice it did the same thing. So we're going to extend that, go to size and position, center, and we're going to check mobile. It did the same thing there. Perfect. Then this should still be linked here to homepage. It never hurts to literally check it. Then we have home, about, experience, blog, and contact. So just always making sure that those are linked. If you want to add in your logo, it's going to be the same exact process. So you'll go to Media Library. We'll grab our logo. I'm going to hold down Shift so I can resize. Go to size and position so we can center. Go to mobile. I'm going to keep that size, but go to center. If you do add your logo in, be sure to go to Click Actions, Page, and click Home. Now that everything is linked, I want to mention we have the black rectangle over the canvas itself. So the canvas behind is this orange color. So when people hover over this canvas, they get to see this orange. How that works is over here via hover, and we have it set to custom, and then the opacity is turned all the way down. So this is saying when somebody hovers it, we want it to be essentially transparent. That's how we see the cool orange underneath. If you want to change the orange, you're going to move this black over, click the orange, go to canvas background, and this is where we could change that. If you're like, ooh, I don't really need the black hover effect at all, in the canvas, you could simply just turn that off and then change the color itself here. So those are two different options for you to be able to change that. Next, we're going to add in your Instagram feed. So these photos are placeholders. What you're going to do in the canvas is just turn them off by selecting these little icons. You'll notice we have what's called social underneath. So if we have it selected, over on the right-hand side, we have social grid settings. From here, it'll say connect account. Ours is already connected, and then you can decide which types of posts that you want to have visible. From there, these are the different options you have to edit. But once you have your Instagram account connected, you're going to see your photos pop in here right away. You can change the auto space here. We can allow overflow, image gap, or even if you're on here, you could come in and fully change this. So if you wanted it to be bigger, we could make that bigger and then center. We also have fallback images. So if you would like to add in some images, just in case, you could add those here and then click save. Size and position we went through. Transitions, you could add those. And then effects, you'd be able to play with opacity here. And we even have the corners available here if you do want to edit that. I would test it out and see how it looks. And then there's also this circle option. So I'd be curious what that would look like with your photos in there. For now, we'll turn these back on. Next, we have this text here. So feel free to come in here and add your little bio. Not even little, but it's short, a short and sweet bio. This is super helpful because it allows dream clients to, in a matter of seconds, easily kind of understand what it is that you provide and what your specialty is, and also like what you're passionate about booking within your business as well. And then of course, we always recommend adding your location and then whether or not you travel. Adding something like worldwide is so helpful because it lets, again, your dream clients know in a matter of seconds that you could travel. Down here, we have all rights reserved, photos by From the Daisies. So if you do update this, make sure you go to Click Actions. It has the From the Daisies Instagram link here, so you can just turn that off. We also have our link here. We appreciate it if you would like to keep us on here. Again, you don't have to, but it is going to our site. So if you keep the text here, just be sure to change the link if you do change it. At the bottom, we have icons available. So in site settings, under social, this is where you added the social links that pertain to your business. And then this is how it works. So once we have the icon selected, we go to Click Actions, Social Link, and then it links to Instagram. And then we'll go with the next one. Within this canvas, if, for example, you don't use TikTok, but maybe you use Facebook. You could select a different icon, and then for click actions, you're going to choose Facebook. We have Pinterest, Spotify. This one is a separate URL link. We have a fun playlist if you want to check it out. It is set to URL, and if you're ever linking out to a different website, be sure to click open in a new window. Here we have a little arrow. This is linking to the top of the page, so clients will easily be able to go from the bottom of your page all the way to the top. Again, if you do make edits on desktop, be sure to check on mobile. And when it comes to editing this text as well, you can literally resize it, and we can move this anywhere. So you don't have to keep it just in that same spot. You don't even have to keep the same font. It could be a different font. It could be a different color. When it is selected, you can go to text style. This is where you could change it. You could have the whole thing be different. You could make it way, so much bigger. You've got options. And same thing with this text. With any text you see, you'll always be able to select it, go over to text style, and make any of those customizations. Be sure to check mobile if you do make any edits so that you can still read things and it's not hanging off the page. Next, we're going to go over how to add photos. So we have this fun little photo section here. Whenever you select a photo, all you're going to do is double click. And here we can pull a new photo. Along the right-hand side here, you'll notice it says position for mobile and desktop. So this is where you can adjust the positioning a little bit. If it's a portrait photo that you added in, the positioning will change up and down. And if it's landscape, the positioning of the photo will change left to right. But that is where you can do that. Same thing here. So this one is actually a gallery. So if we select it, it'll say gallery in the canvas itself. And then over on the right, so we have gallery images. You'll click manage images. From here, you can bring your images over and then even rearrange them. If we want to remove it, you can select it, delete it, and then click save. Here we have gallery settings. So you can come in here and change the auto advance and then even the transition time. You could even select the type of transition, whether it be fade or slide. We also have a photo above. So if you want to have these photos remain individual photos, we can come over here and just turn this one on. So we'll just turn it on via the little icon here, or you can keep the gallery. We also have another image that is hidden. It will be for this one. This is another gallery. So we know it's a gallery because when we select it, we see gallery in the canvas itself. And then over here it says gallery images. So we know we can add in our images. Here we'll select the image, rearrange, or delete out, and then click save. Next, you'll have the gallery settings. This is where we can have the auto advance. We have them each kind of delayed by 0.5, but of course you can come in here and tweak it. If you want to have a regular static image here, we have this one that you can just simply turn on. And then we also have the fun tape over it, so you can keep the tape. We could hide the tape. You could come in here and reposition the tape as well. We also could make these bigger. So you could drag the photo and make this much bigger. You could hide the photo altogether. With any photos here, you can truly do so much. It's so fun. If you want to add a photo to a page that's not there, or to a canvas that's not there, we can kind of select this negative space and then go to Media Library. This is where we could add one. If we want this to be half the page, we want it to be 600 width. And this is where horizontal locking comes in. So we could have it go all the way to the right. So this will be from half all the way over. That also looks super cool. If we add it to desktop, it is going to be on mobile. So just be sure to come over here to mobile and double check, add that wherever you would like. And it could go here as well. If you're like, oh, I want to make this a full width image, you can. So we could drag this all the way over. And then under horizontal locking, we're going to use this third one so that it is full width. And then this image is actually in the next canvas, in the intro canvas. So we could turn that off on desktop. And here we're going to go back to image and position. So this is where we could pull in that positioning and move it down or up. If you want to add a gallery to any canvas, you can. That is going to be down here at the bottom. So we'll hit gallery. We'll go to gallery images, manage images, select an image and click the blue arrow. Click save. Here we can position this as well. So maybe it's like, we're going to do a half width kind of vibe. This could be super cool. So then you'll notice it's over all of the other images. I'm going to pull this down at least under the text so we could still maybe add this text somewhere. So for here, I just reordered by grabbing it and dragging the image up. And then we'll go to gallery settings. This is where you're going to adjust timing for auto advance. You can also go up to preview here. You'll notice it's not half of the width. And we're also getting that fade. So you're kind of seeing the stuff behind it. So then we're going to go to size and position. This is where we're going to select this second one. So it will be halfway. Cool. So you kind of can come in here, customize it, add in galleries, delete them. If you're like, oh, I want to try something with the header canvas, just be sure to duplicate it as well. So you can come in here, rename it. This is a fun little hack. And then I literally duplicate so many canvases because I'm like, oh, I have a new idea. Like, I just want to try this real quick. So if you kind of duplicate it, we could go to the next one, try it, and you could compare which one do you like better and just kind of like have fun playing. Like, you're not going to break anything, and just kind of go from there. We also have with each image, let me open this. So I'm going to make sure this canvas is visible, and we're going to go over that again too. But with a photo, anything in a canvas, you'll notice we have the icons here, so we could hide it on mobile and it will still be visible on desktop and vice versa. Or we can come over here, you'll see this lock feature. So if we want to keep one element in the exact same place, we can actually lock it so that way we can customize around it. To unlock, you'll click the lock again. If it's locked, you'll come over here. You can also unlock from the image. You'll notice the 3 dots here. You can rename. This would be to help you stay organized within this canvas. When you rename over here, it does not improve the search engine optimization. We could duplicate the photo. If we do duplicate it, we will have a version on desktop and mobile. We can delete, and then we can also lock this way as well and unlock. This process is going to be exactly the same when it comes to swapping photos. I am going to go over the gallery canvas later in the video. I'll go over the testimonial canvas, the blog canvas, and the subscribe canvas later. But for the most part, if you plan on using the coming soon page, you'll update this photo, the about page, you'll update these photos in here. The fun facts section or canvas, I'm going to go over that one later in this video. But you can update the photos in the Your Why CTA experience page. We are going to go over the testimonials and the FAQ separately, but otherwise, really swapping photos is going to be the same. The only reason I'm going over some of these canvases is to make sure, kind of explaining like how it's working, and so that you can confidently come in there, customize it. Contact will be the same, so you're going to come through these pages, add in your beautiful work. Links page, if you plan on using the links page, this is a great place to come in, add multiple links, making sure that it is within your own website. And then swapping out the photos. The 404 will be the same. So when you come to this page, if you're trying to edit a photo and you're like clicking, that's because something is most likely over it. So this, we have a black rectangle over it so that the words appear a little easier to read. So if you're like, I want to change this photo, you're going to click graphic, and over on the right, you'll click swap image. That is the same on the home page as well. So when we get down to the CTA canvas, even before this, like if you're trying to change this photo, you'll notice when you select, you're getting the Polaroid. So you'll have to go into the CTA canvas. Right underneath the Polaroid should be the photo, and then we'll swap this way. The blog, category, and single post page, I will be going through those specifically in our next blogging video, so be sure to watch that one to get a better understanding of how these work. And then the blog 404, we're going to want to change this photo as well. So we'll select graphic, on the right, click the image. One of our favorite questions we get asked is, can you add video to your Show It site? And the answer is yes. There's a couple different ways you can do it, so we will go through that together. One of the first ways is you can swap any image with a GIF file. So if we go to our media library, let's add a GIF. Let me find one. So one little hack that I always use is if you have an MP4 video, so maybe you're at a shoot and you take some behind the scenes footage, or maybe just like a cool little video of your couple, something like that. If you upload that to Canva, you can then add it to a Canva like doc, and from there you can download it as a GIF. So I would download it like kind of in the middle of the settings, so that way the file size isn't super large. If you save it as a larger file, usually the quality is better, but when it's on your web page, it will load slower. And the same goes if you save it as the lowest quality. Sometimes the quality isn't as good, but it will load faster on your page. So I find like a happy medium to be super helpful. Or you could also go to giphy.com, upload your video, and then convert it into a GIF. Once it's converted, then you're going to upload that GIF file into here. Once it's added in, we can select. So the cool thing with adding in a GIF, you can actually change the positioning as well. That part's super cool. So that's going to be the same process with any image. So we could come here, select the GIF. It's so fun because it just adds a little something. Okay, the next option is you could add it as a canvas background. So for example, say we want this whole background to be a video. We're going to select just the negative space. You'll see canvas background here. Under media type, we can select video. So when we go to choose video, it'll show in that folder we don't have any videos uploaded. So we're going to have to add a video. It will also let you know if your video file is too large. You'll get a notification right here that will pop up. And if you can just resave your file size to be smaller, or even search on Google for a video like size reducing website, those are out there as well. Once it's uploaded, we'll select. And then from here, I'm going to select this image. I'm going to hide it on desktop. I'm going to select all of these, and I'm just going to hide them all so that we have this super cool video. We can choose a fallback image just in case. Duration, we want to loop. Here we can choose size, so fill, contain, or don't scale. Positioning, this you kind of have to just choose and kind of check out. We have a few features here where we can scroll with the page, parallax, or fixed. We'll go over parallax with a photo too, but that's the where it looks like you're scrolling over the photo. And then down here we can even lower the opacity and choose a color. So here we could choose like our orange. The lower we go. I like the full opacity here. So then I would come up here to preview. Cool. So we'll have to adjust the text so that we could still read the text, but that is how you could add a video to the background. And I'm just going to turn all of these back on. The other option, I am going to use a blank canvas. So I'm going to click the three dots here, add a blank canvas. Every time you add a blank canvas or a new canvas, it's always added to the bottom of the page. And then here you could actually add, I'm going to extend this canvas. You can add a YouTube or Vimeo video. So at the bottom, I'm going to click video. Over here on the right-hand side, you will see either Vimeo. Here's where you're going to add your Vimeo ID. And then here are the customization options right here. Or we could do YouTube. You'll add the YouTube ID. And then here are the customization options. It's pretty quick once you have your video in here. Like you'll see it populate right here. So you can adjust the sizing of it here. And then I always would go to preview it just to make sure it's displaying how you would like. And it'll be down here. We can also add text to this canvas. So it wouldn't have to just be the video by itself, but you can really come in here and customize it. You can also add a video in that same way to any canvas as well. So if you were like, we could do it up here. So we could add video, and let's say for example, we want it to be in place of this one. So I'm going to make it as smaller than the photo. I'm going to select both. Here I get this alignment feature, so I'm going to match size. This is horizontal or width and height. Align to top and align left. From there, I'm going to move this under the tape. And of course, you'll have to double check with sizing, but once you add your video in, you could go from there. If we add it on desktop, we're going to have to check mobile and resize it here too. So I'm going to make it smaller so I can select both here, match size, align to top and left. So those are the ways you can add video to any page. Next, we're going to customize text. So any of the text you see on any of the pages, feel free to use. You can use exactly what's there. You can customize it, make it your own, totally start fresh. It's totally up to you. So right here, we'll start at the beginning, wherever you're from. So say we're from California. Add that in here and just simply type it. If you take this box, we can kind of move it. It will kind of change what it looks like that way. So that's kind of a fun way to play with that. Whenever we have the text selected, we can go to the right-hand side. These are going to be our customization options for text. So we can go through. This is where we can change the color. This is where we could change the font itself. We can change size, line height, letter spacing, letter case. So you have all of these options here. Text properties doesn't apply to this. Size and position, we can always use the center to canvas. This one's always super helpful depending on your design. And then if we look over in the header canvas, we have the same options here. So we can hide it on mobile. So if we look at both, we could have that hidden. We could hide it on desktop. Come over here, we can lock that. So if we want to design around that, but keep this in the same exact space, we can do that. To unlock, we'll click the lock. Here we can rename. This would only be if you would like it to be called something else. We can duplicate. So if we duplicate it on mobile, it will be duplicated on desktop. We can also come here and delete. And lastly, you could lock and unlock right here. Another way you can add text to any page is going to be down at the bottom with our type styles that we set in design settings. We could grab any font here. And then of course, every time you add it in, it will be added to desktop and mobile. But on the right-hand side, this is where you'll be able to customize. So we can make that orange. We can make this huge. We could turn this on its side. And we could even make it bigger than 100. And you can just kind of go from there. When it comes to customizing any of this text, you're going to come in here, you can delete it all, you can start typing your own thing, and go from there. We have this fun little like highlighter text. It is a rectangle, so what we can do is select it, and you could come in here and move it up using the arrow key on our keyboard, because technically this text is above it. So if I keep trying to select it, I'm only going to get this text and I won't be able to get it unless you get like a little chunk. That is how you'd be able to select it. You can also feel free to change the font color here. So that can be changed. Again, same process. So like the actual font could be changed. All of that can be changed within the right-hand side here. With any of the text you see, the way to link this to a page or to link to anything, we're going to select the text and go to click actions. This is where we'll be linking things. These are the different types of links available. To go to a different page, we'll select page, and we're going to go to the contact page. Once you link something, this will link on desktop and mobile. And then you can truly just like move text wherever you want it. We could extend this to be longer, and you could add in even more photos over here. So you could totally come in here and customize it and really make it your own. If you feel like you're getting stuck with any of the copywriting, we do have our homepage copywriting guide. It will be linked below this video as well. So if you want to check it out, feel free to do that. Next, we're going to go over Canvas backgrounds. So to change any of the colors, I always kind of click the negative space, but if you just select the canvas itself and none of the elements, on the right-hand side, you'll see Canvas background. This is also where you can change that. This one is linked to change the color on desktop as well, or excuse me, mobile and desktop simultaneously. If you want that to be different, we can change them this way. And if we want to go back, we can click fill and then merge using mobile. So now if I click it once, both of them will be the same color. The other Canvas background types, we already went over video, but there is image. So we can select an image. Here we can choose the size again, and then the positioning, scroll with page, and fixed. And then the opacity as well. Of course, you can change the color here as well too. This might be kind of cool. So you can really just like come in here and let your creative freedom go wild. We also have a gradient option. So I'm going to start with okay. I'm getting carried away with this, but you can change the gradient as well and then change the rotation. Okay, perfect. There's also some really fun things you can do with the canvases themselves. So with these canvases on any page, we could reorder them. So gallery, wedding gallery, and couples galleries, those ones are nice to keep together because they all work together. But as far as some of the other galleries, we could actually come down here and be like, oh, okay, I want to add the testimonials. I want to add the blog before testimonials. So I'm just going to drag blog. And now that is going to be before testimonials. So you can do it that way if you know you're like, I know you say how important blogging is, but I need to launch this website, so I'm going to hide this canvas until I get my blogs written. Totally makes sense. So we're going to come over here and we can select the visibility. So now we have that hidden. If we have the blog canvas hidden, I would then rearrange this a little bit. So I'm just zooming out. And I would maybe pull this stay a while up. So this CTA to be something like that. Okay. You can also add in a blank canvas. So if you click any page at the top here, click the three dots, we can add blank canvas. It's always going to be added to the bottom, but we could bring that literally anywhere we want. Notice we brought it all the way up. Let's go up even further. We're just going to start fresh with a totally new canvas here. And so we could do whatever we want here. We can add photos, we could add videos, whatever we want that to look like. To delete, I'm just going to come over here and delete the canvas. If you're creating a canvas that you're like, oh, I want to use this on multiple pages within my website, you can actually convert it to a site canvas. And then we can also add canvases from this site already. So we can add in any of the site canvases. We could click a page and add any of the canvases from another page. It'll always be added to the bottom of the page, but we could bring this up. And add that in. We're going to extend this canvas down a little bit. And go from there. You can also add canvases from another Show It site. So if you currently have a different template, a different website, and you're like, ooh, I have, let's see, maybe we already have the Winston template. We could come over here and be like, oh, I want to add in this travel schedule. We can click Apply My Fonts. You'll still have to come in here and customize the fonts and colors, or use Original Design and add that over. So now at the bottom, we'll have the travel schedule here, and then we can go in and customize. On this site, we have a couple of transitions in place when it comes to the text. So we'll go up to the top. So whenever you select an element, you can come over to the right-hand side and you could apply transitions. This you can select from the type of transition, and for example, we could do slide. Then you can pick the direction, and I would go to preview. And you'd go back and forth to kind of decide if you like it or not, or try out other transitions here. Oops. And then here you can do the time and the delay. So same thing, if you do adjust that, I would just come over and click preview so you can check that out. You also can change the timing and the type on mobile. And that goes for any element that you see. So you can also do that on photos. We could do that on our little underline here. Any of the stuff you see, you could add transitions to, and that's exactly how you're going to do them. Moving on to adding shapes. So you'll notice we have some of these underlines. This is actually pulled from Canva, so we'll have the Canva doc linked below. So if you do need to change the color of any of the underlines you see, or we do have some of the circles, like these circles, we will have that doc linked below so that you can go in, change the color, save it as a PNG file, and then upload it to the media library. If you're trying to just add a shape, we can do that by selecting the canvas, going to the middle here, adding rectangle. Here we can go to shape style. We can add a border, the border size, which you can go up as much as you would like. Size and position, so we can center to canvas. You could do horizontal locking if you wanted this to be full width. I would bring this all the way over and then still put full width here. Click actions, you can absolutely. So if we wanted to use this behind our call to action button here, and we want this to be the actual button itself, we could have that right here. And then I would also link this with click action. So we want this to go to the same location. Transitions, again, if you want those on, you could add them here. Hover effect, you'd be able to play with this here. And then we also have effects down here. So you can change the opacity. That is what we did with the orange behind the text. It's actually a rectangle, and we lowered the opacity. You could add a drop shadow, outer or inner. And then also we could play with the corners here. So this is where we could really change the whole look of the button. And we also have cool shapes down here. So you could also have these really fun different shapes, or go into adding a circle, which we could then change to an oval. So if you do add in shapes, they could be functional or they could just be decorative. Next, we have lines. So the same thing, we could add this as like an underline. We'll go to line style. This is where we'll change the color, change the line thickness. The end cap, we could choose rounded. And then we can adjust from there. If it's going to be functional as like next to a CTA, then I would always recommend we go in here and link to the same exact page. Transitions, of course, you could add those. We could add the drop shadow here. So anytime you add in an element, you're always going to come over to the right-hand side to do the customizations with it. If we customize it on desktop, be sure to check mobile because it's going to be needing a little love and attention. Next, we have icons. So we can add an icon in the middle here. Go to icon settings. This is where we're changing color. Below we have icon chooser. This is when we can select. From here, depending, we can use like size and position still. We could still rotate this. Click actions, if it is going to something, be sure to add in the click actions. Again, you can do transitions. We could still do the drop shadow here too. So you have options. I also wanted to mention with photos too, if you select any image, you can come down to effects. We could add drop shadows, or we can also change the corners here to any images. We could use the shapes below here to change the side as well. And then we also could use circle, which could make it an oval. And we could also resize to make it a circle. And that's with any image as well. Moving on, we're going to go over a couple of canvases. I just want to go through them and explain how they work so that you really feel confident going in there and customizing them. So next we have the gallery canvas. This one is super fun because when we click view gallery, this is the weddings and elopements. So when we click view gallery, it is going to show us this weddings and elopements gallery. And the same thing on the right-hand side. So when we click couples, it is going to show us this wonderful couples gallery. Both of these galleries, the couples and wedding galleries, they are set to be hidden to start. So when people are on your homepage, they're not going to see these two canvases. Both are hidden to start on desktop and mobile. The only way they're going to see them is if they actually click. So if they click view gallery, they're going to see them, and we'll go through what that looks like too. So if we go to click actions, we're saying the type of link is canvas. We want them specifically to go to the weddings gallery canvas, and they're going to go to view 1. And we also have scroll to canvas, so that's going to allow the website to scroll automatically to this canvas. And then we have some actions in place. So we're saying to show canvas, specifically the weddings gallery canvas. And if the couple's canvas was visible, we want to hide that canvas so your dream clients are really taking in each canvas individually. We also have, once they get to the canvas, this is where you can come in here and make any edits. So you can change the text simply by selecting and start typing, whatever it is that you want this to say. We have an X here, so what's happening is when people click that, if we go to click actions, we're saying we want to link to a canvas, specifically the gallery canvas, canvas view 1, and scroll to canvas. With the actions, we're saying hide canvas, specifically this canvas. So the X will hide this current canvas while simultaneously bringing us back up to this canvas. When you're in here, we can select the gallery itself, go to gallery images. It'll be the same process, so you'll select your image, add it over. You can rearrange them by selecting and dragging, or delete them out by clicking the trash icon. Click save. Down here we have gallery settings. So this is going to be how to customize this even further. We could change the space between, the auto advanced timing. We have loop images and also show dots. We have the dots showing over images. We could add them under images. So that's what we have right here. We also have size and position, centered to canvas. And then we have send inquiry. So always check any buttons to make sure they're working. We have send inquiry going to the contact page. If, for example, we change any of this text and maybe this says brands and lifestyle. So then maybe our first canvas would be the same. All of this will still be linked. The only time it would change is if we changed the actual name of this gallery. So if we change this to brands and lifestyle and we click save, this is when, if we go to view gallery, that canvas, you'd have to come in here and click the new canvas. So if you do update the actual name of the canvas over here, be sure to double check your links within here because this also is clickable. So we have this is clickable, the black box behind it is clickable. So just making sure the things that people can click on are still linked. Okay. So I just undid that. So now I'm seeing that it's linked back to the weddings gallery canvas. Same thing over here. So when you're coming to edit this one and you're like, okay, I'm trying to get this photo, it is just saying that the Polaroid is selected right now. We can tell by what image we have on the right, the blue around the Polaroid, and that it's blue within the canvas. So we'll go right underneath. This is where we could swap that photo and then change the positioning here. To change one of the bigger images, we can just double click and select. From there, editing the couples canvas, that's going to be exactly the same. So we'll come in here, gallery images, and go through the process if we make any updates to the gallery settings. And then of course, always just kind of double check mobile, make sure that is still showcasing everything as well. Next, we're going to move on to the Testimonials Canvas. So anytime you see these little tabs, these are called Canvas views in Show It. This one is saying all these items are inside of this Canvas view 1. So to swap any photos, we're going to double click. Same process. To update the text, we can come in here and you can paste your testimonial and then come in here to add the client's names. And then the arrow is set up through a click action. So if we go to click actions, we're saying we want to link to a canvas, specifically this canvas, but we want to show them the next canvas view. And then we also have reverse transition direction and loop canvas views selected. So that way it's infinite and it'll just keep going to the next canvas view. So to edit these, you're going to go through each one and just double check to make sure that the text isn't running over. If the text in here does go over this button, people won't be able to read the names or anything like that. So we want to make sure that if that's the case, we would move the names down. We want to move the arrow. And that could be the case that all of your testimonials, maybe they're longer. You could even just move the arrow like up here. And then we can also extend this canvas and bring the names down too. That way it'll give you some more room right there. That could also be the case within desktop as well. So if you do need a little bit more room, you can make this canvas longer. If you want to add an additional testimonial, you can truly add as many as you would like. So we can go to view 3, click the 3 dots and click duplicate. From here, I would rename this view so that it's view 4. Click view 4 text. And here we're going to update. This is a little call out from the testimonial. So you'll just come in here and type that in or paste it in. Here we'll actually add more of the testimonial, the names. We can update the 3 here. So double click the 3. This will be 4. And then click the graphic. Swap that. And anytime we make those edits, I always double check mobile as well. Make sure everything is readable. And then you'd keep repeating the process. So we could duplicate again, rename. This would be 5. And continue like that. We also have a testimonials canvas over on the experience page. So we're going to go to our site, go to the experience page, go into the page, and here we have a testimonial. This is set up the same way. So again, we're going to see the little tabs, which means these are canvas views. And you're going to go through it and edit this exactly the same. So these are the items in the canvas view. You can tell where it's located. So this could be a picture of your clients, couples, brands, and then we'll add a testimonial. We'll add the names. We can change this text. This is outside of the testimonial. Here we have the arrows, which allows us to go through each testimonial. And it's set up through click actions. The type of link is canvas. We want to stay on this canvas, but show the previous view. Again, we have reverse and loop canvas views selected. And then the reverse for the other arrow, it's going to go the other direction. Same process to come in here and edit photos, text, names, photo, text, names. View 2, you're going to do the same process. View 3, same process. And if you want to add more, we can select view 3 and click duplicate. From here, we'll rename this to 4, click save, and then customize. All right, we're going to go back to the home page, go to page, and then we have a blog. All right, so I kind of want to go through this. So Show It works with WordPress. So you get the power of WordPress blogging and the ease and creative freedom that Show It provides with the design aspect. So this is the layout for the blog on desktop and mobile. We'll view just desktop for now. And the things that you can come in here and edit, we could change the title of these. We could change the actual coordinates here. We could actually hide all this. So depending on like kind of your vision for this section. This photo, all 4 of these photos are placeholders. So you can swap them with your own work so that it is your work. However, nobody will see these because you're actually going to write these blog posts in WordPress. So when you're in WordPress, you're going to write the blog post title, and this will be the placeholder where you're going to see that title show up, and you're going to set the featured image within WordPress. So again, this is just a placeholder. What we could change here is you could change the size of the photos. We could also change the post title text. So if we go to text style, you could change the color. We could change the actual font itself. We could increase the size. If you increase the size, you'll notice this is getting cut off. That is because we have it set to crop for overflow. So if that's the case, you want these bigger, just make that box bigger. If maybe you only want 2 featured blogs on the homepage, we could also take these. Well, truly, we could hide them. For right now, I would just bring that up, and then I'd go in here and delete view 3 and delete view 4 if you don't want them. To change view 3, we actually have to click on view 3. Okay, I was clicking on the wrong one. So whenever we're wanting to change that, so if I'm trying to get to this one, I have view 4 selected, so I have to go to view 3, and now I can select that. So if I did want to change this size, we could change that size, go to view 4, change this one. Again, changing the color or the actual text itself. Just keep in mind that everything is linked to communicate with WordPress. So we just want to make sure these items stay within a Canvas view so that that portion is still connected for you. We're going to move on to the subscribe canvas. Okay, this one is a site canvas. We can tell because it has the gray lines. It has the gray lines here, and it also says site canvas. We'll click edit. This form is created within Show It. So you'll notice again, we have these little canvas views. Here we have join the email club. Name, this is where people are actually putting in their name. So the things we can change here are changing the color. If you want them to add their first and last name, I would come in here and type first and last name. How this works is through text properties. So here under text properties, we have contact form, enable input, if we want it to be required, in subject to. So when somebody fills out your form here, you'll receive an email notification from Show It. From there, if you went to reply, in subject would be their name. You're also going to see this label. So in the email notification you'll receive, it'll have the label. So it'll say name, and then it'll have whatever the person entered in for their name. Next, we have email. So if we go to text style, the same thing can happen here. We can change color. We could change text. And then when we go to text properties, same thing. So we have enable input, required, and now we have reply to. So again, when you receive this notification, if you click reply, it will reply to whatever email people put in this box. The label we have is email. When we go to click subscribe, if we go to click actions, we are linking to a canvas, specifically this canvas, and we're going to the next Canvas view, and we also need submit contact form selected. So that'll be selected here, and we also have this circle set up for click action, so that way people click anywhere around it, they're submitting that contact form. When they click this, they're going to see view 2. So be sure if you want to come in here and add in a little something, you can. Be sure to double check mobile if you do make any updates so that things are not overlapped. Another fun option is if, for example, you use an email platform like Flowdesk. That is the one that we use, and honestly, it's made emailing so much easier, so much more fun, and you can actually embed your form from Flowdesk. So anytime you have somebody sign up for your email list, they're automatically getting added into your email platform, which allows you just so many benefits. It's so nice. So for example, I would log into Flowdesk, and if you do want to try it, be sure to use our code 7th Made for a discount, and I would create the form in Flowdesk. When I come back to this canvas, I'm going to come down to the middle and click Embed Code. I will double click, and this is where I'm going to paste my code. Click Save. You'll see it here, and I will pull that out. We're going to take this iframe and move it out of the canvas view. I'm also going to pull the join the email club out, and then I would no longer need the canvas view, so I could delete this, and I would also delete view 2. From there, whenever you do embed a form, be sure to preview. So we'll go back to your home page, and in here, normally you will see your form show up. So then I would go to your homepage, preview it, and typically you'll see your form here. So if you do have to adjust the sizing at all, you'll go back to the canvas, and then you may have to just adjust this iframe a little bit. All right, we have a few more canvases to go through, and we're almost done. Moving on to the fun facts canvas on the About page. So if we go to About page, fun facts. Okay, this one is set up super fun. And when you hover this photo, it shows a fun fact. So we're going to lock this one, but I'm also just going to turn it off so that we can see what's underneath. Let's pull up mobile as well so we can look at both. This is where you can add a little fun fact about yourself, or it could even be something about your experience, or like a fun fact about your business, anything like that. To adjust this, you're going to come in here and start typing. Once you have your fun fact in here, then underneath text style, this is where you could change the color again. You could change the actual font itself. Maybe we want something like that. And then, of course, we'll change the size. You'll notice we also have this black square. So there's a little bit of opacity on that. If we go to effects, it's turned down. If you want to show the photo under it a little bit more, we can change the opacity further. Or if you don't want to see the photo underneath, you don't have to. So what I would do then is underneath the simple, we'll click this graphic, go over to image, and this is where you could swap it. So say if we use that photo here, I would go to the one we just locked, turn it back on, and we're going to choose the same photo. And you'll just repeat that process throughout this whole thing. So I'm going to turn this one back on. I'm going to unlock. We're going to go to the next one. So that is down here. We're going to lock, And I'm also going to turn this off so I can see fun fact 2. We see the messy circle. Here's where we can edit the text, and you just want to make sure that it's showing up on mobile and desktop. Here's simple. Here's the graphic. So we're going to click swap the graphic. I would go back up to the one we hid, unlock, and swap that graphic too. And again, we'll just go through the same process. So select photo, lock it, hide it, select the text, update that, go down simple, then graphic is that behind photo, and we'll swap the photo. And so you'll just want to go through and do that whole thing. How this works as well is when you have the top photo selected and we go to hover, we have the opacity set to 0. So that's where it fully will be transparent. If you don't want the effect on this canvas, you could truly just turn this off and it would have none. That means when people go over it, they wouldn't be able to hover and then see the fun fact underneath. So that would be another option. Next, we have the experience page. We're going to go over the fun facts, the FAQ canvas. All right, we have mobile, desktop right here. Again, as soon as we see these little tabs, we know these are canvas views. From here, how this is working is we have the question number 1. So you'll come in here and type question 1. Same process. If you want to change text, we're going to go to text style, change color, change font, change size. All of that is here. When we go to click actions, we are saying the type of link is Canvas, specifically this canvas, and we want people to go to Canvas View 2. So when they click this, they're going to see View 2. This is where you're going to write the answer to question 1. It's going to be the same process. So we can double click and start typing. And then you're going to go through and do the same thing. Also with question 1, if we're wanting to change this photo, we'll select Polaroid. And if you go to graphic, you'll see it's highlighted blue here. It's blue on desktop. You'll go to the right where it says image, click the image, and this is where you can change it. And then go to position to change the actual position of the photo. Next, we'll go to question 2. This is where you'll come in here, type question 2. If we go to click actions, this is saying when people click this text, they're going to see Canvas View 3. So they're going to see View 3. This is where I need to update this text. To update the photo behind it, we're going to select the Polaroid. In the canvas, you'll go right underneath the Polaroid that's selected. You'll see graphic. On the right-hand side, click the photo, and this is where you can change it. And you'll just repeat the process. So question number 3, if we go to click actions, it's saying we're going to show view 4. So we're going to go to view 4, and this is where you're going to update this text. To change the photo back here, we'll select the Polaroid. Right underneath it is the image. Go to image, double click. Or I'm not even double clicking, I'm just clicking. And then same thing with question 4, when we go to click actions, it's saying show view 5. So we'll go to view 5. And that's how you'll update this FAQ canvas. Another one of our favorite questions is, can you embed your contact form from Honeybook or Dubsado or even another third-party platform? And the answer is yes, you can. So we're going to go to the contact page, go to page, contact form, canvas. We'll see these tabs here. These are canvas views. We'll go to desktop only for this example. Don't worry, we'll definitely show mobile. You'll notice everything is in order here. So we have contact, all of these graphics right here are on top, orange circle, give me all the details, and then we jump into the form. So this is where we're seeing everything in order, first and last name, line, phone, everything goes in order here. When people go to fill this out, they're going to enter in their information, how this works, and the things you can edit. Let's start with the things you can edit. So we can go to text style. Again, this is where we can change color, and we can change text. We can change size. All of the normal customizations that can happen are right here. When we go to text properties, we have contact form. So we have enable input, required, in subject for names, and we have our label, first and last name. For email, we have reply to. Other than that, these ones will just be enable input and required if you want them to be required, and then making sure we have the label that goes with the right one. So if you do end up changing this to like partners first and just do partner's name, then I would come over here and change this to partner's name. That way you would have both of those are consistent. So that would be the process of editing any of these if you want to change the exact question. I also have, so make sure when you have it selected, coming over here to make sure you change that label. If you're like, well, hey, I actually don't need this many questions, we could select, say for example, we don't need these 3, we could select them, and then in the canvas view, simply just hide them by turning them off. We want to keep our submit. I could grab submit, and then I'm just going to bring that up. Now, if we do that on desktop, you already know we're going to have to come over here to check mobile, and we're going to do the same thing to mobile. So I'm bringing up our submit, and then I'll make that canvas smaller. If you're like, ooh, actually I want to add more questions, you can also do that. So we're going to extend this canvas. I would pull submit down, and I'm holding shift down on my keyboard so that I can pull submit and the lines straight down. From here, I'm going to select the last question, click the 3 dots, duplicate, bring this down. I'm going to grab this line, duplicate. I'm going to bring that down too. So from here, I'm going to select everything and then left align. And I'm going to bring this line up a little bit. From here, you'll type your question, and then we're going to move over to text properties. And of course, go to the label, and you'll type your question here. If it's not required, you can unselect that, but be sure it says enable input is. Again, if we do this on desktop, we're going to go to mobile, pull this down, we're going to pull the submit down. I'm going to make sure when I'm selecting that I have the right line and the right question. So you see in the canvas, it got kind of separated. So then I'm going to click this. I'm holding down Command to select these 2. And then, oops, Okay, I'm gonna select these two this way, click mobile, and now I'm gonna use the arrow keys to move this down. From here, I can center to canvas. I can make that a little smaller, and then I'm gonna bring the question down, and I'm gonna bring this line back up, so that way within this canvas view number 1, all of the questions are going in order. So we will no longer need this question. Bring this back up. If you want to rearrange anything, that can be done as well. So for like, oh, I want to bring this question up, I could drag this one up, drag these two down, bring this one down, kind of resize a little, not resize, but like make some more space. If I rearrange it here, I could do the same on mobile. So if that were the case, I probably need a little bit more space here. So I'm going to make this canvas bigger, pull the submit down. Oh, I just had that one turned off. I'm going to select these two because I can tell that I moved that question up. Pull this all the way down. Now I can select all of them and slide them back up. If I rearrange the order here, I'm going to grab it and also rearrange the order here, so I'm keeping that same organization. Okay. Now what happens when people click submit? So that is set through click actions as well. So if we go to click actions, we're saying the type of link is canvas. We want to link to this canvas, but we want to show the next canvas view. We're also going to scroll to the canvas and submit contact form. So now they're going to see view 2. So here's a fun little message. So be sure to come in here and update the message. We also have, in the meantime, check out these love stories. So this is going to the blog page. I also have this circle going to the blog page, and then you're going to want to update the text, or excuse me, the photos. If you ever want to duplicate any of the tape here, you can also click duplicate, and you could add in more tape, and we could also change the rotation, and then check mobile to adjust said tape. Now, if you do have a contact form through Dubsado, Honeybook, we're going to go through that. And what I'm going to do is actually duplicate this contact form canvas. I'm going to rename this the original. And I'm going to hide. We currently use Dubsado, so I will go through showing what that looks like. We'll start out on desktop. I know I want these 3 items to be outside of this canvas view. So I'm just going to move them up. And then down here at the bottom, we're going to choose embed code. I want this to be out of the canvas view as well. I'm going to go to Dubsado. So I have our contact form pulled up. I'm going to click share and then copy this code. Go back to the contact page, double click the embed code, and then paste the form here. Now that we have our form in here, we can actually delete the canvas views. I think I forgot something. Oh, yes. I forgot to pull this part out. So what I'm going to do is copy this. So I'm going to use Command-C on my keyboard. I'm going to go back to this canvas, click in this negative space, and click Command-V. So then it's going to paste it in the same exact spot. And then I'm just going to resize this. Of course, if we resize it on desktop, we're going to do that on mobile. The biggest thing is making sure that the send button is not covered up. And then because of how our form is designed in Dubsado, I would have to go into Dubsado and update this button so that it is visible, or change our canvas background so that we can see it. I'll make this one a little bit lighter for right now so we can actually see it. We'll go to preview. So you'll kind of see where this spacing is all weird. So I'd go back into the page. I'm going to pull this down, make that a little bit smaller, preview again. Okay, not bad. And we can see the send button. There's this extra space, so I can either make that canvas shorter and adjust here. Then be sure to check mobile. Okay, not bad. And so it'll be a little bit of that back and forth just to make sure that you get your form showing and making sure that send or submit button is visible as well. If you have any questions that come up, there are Show It Help docs available down here, and there is a Show It Support chat feature. Of course, you can always email us at support@seventhmade.com, and we'd be happy to help as well. Otherwise, happy customizing. We cannot wait to see your new site. I'll see you on the next one.